I don't want to alarm anyone, but we have a problem. I don't know if I can do this review. I was going through my notes and I don't seem to have listed any major critiques for The Legend of William O. I don't think this has ever happened before. Did I just get caught up in the legend like everyone in the story does? Do I have to fabricate some anti William O propaganda to balance this review? Oh, now there's a solution.
No fluff writing advice. Cut the fluff!
The Legend of William O is as boring as it is unexceptional. Absolutely no creativity has gone into creating these characters, their classes, or the world in which they exist. Reading The Legend of William O audiobook is like listening to paint dry. Look, I can't even do it. Let's just talk about why this book is so legendary. I will say The Legend of William O starts with a typical YA fantasy vibe. I got this with Industrial Strength Magic too, the other Macronomicon novel I've read and reviewed. You think you're in for something familiar, but it quickly takes a wild turn, and there's not a lot of hand holding. So, while The Legend of William O looks like a typical coming of age story on the surface, it's not boring and unexceptional. No, don't believe that blatant propaganda. It's fresh and exciting. I mean, the story takes a wild turn early, a real WTF moment, and it's not the last one. Looking back, and I can't say too much without dropping a spoiler, but the event that really kicks off the plot feels a little forced, maybe because we don't know enough about the characters involved. One in particular, are his actions in character? It's a bit of an extreme action to take. It's one of those questions I can't really answer without reading again and paying closer attention to any foreshadowing. I know there is some there, but you see a lot more with hindsight. I'm not doing any rereading at this stage, so I'll give it a pass. I could have spun that into some anti William O propaganda, take that uncertainty and overstate it. Maybe I will. The Legend of William O is built on a foundation of forced and unnatural character actions and manufactured shock. Oh, and The Legend of William O isn't about delving into dungeons. No, it's about going up, climbing the tower, which is different because up is a different direction from down. Look into it. From the trial situation to every other pivotal scene, the author isn't afraid to challenge Will and put him in seemingly impossible situations. There are plenty of genuinely tense moments and difficult problems that require creative solutions, and the conflict and tension ebb and flow nicely. There are a few tedious moments when the focus switches to tower climbing and leveling, but those moments usually lead into something bigger, so they work for pacing purposes. How can I spin that? The Legend of William O is as plotless as it is pointless. No characters seem to have any motivations beyond climbing the tower, so the entire story is about doing just that. You get more enjoyment from watching someone with a questionable level of fitness attempt to climb a long flight of stairs. Oh, I've got to talk about Will's class, with some goat powers thrown in the mix. I won't say much more, but Macronomicon might be the king of creative classes. In Industrial Strength Magic, Perry's Tinkerer class feels fresh, and The Legend of William O maintains that same level of creativity on so many levels. I mean, the whole Hype Man angle adds some flavour and provides some of the novel's most humorous moments. Plenty of humour throughout, although it's not a total laugh out loud fest. Some lines did catch me off guard. Here's one. I'm sick of looking at your cock. I'm like, whoa, looking around thinking my wife has just entered the room. It's just the audiobook. Let's talk about the magic system, creative classes, creative abilities, and creative uses for those abilities. Will, in particular, is frequently finding new ways to make the most of his odd skills to the point that he's practically finding exploits. There are also limitations to the system, which is great for creating problems and generating tension. For example, climbers only have a certain number of charges, so they can't just spam their abilities, and they don't regain those charges quickly. Limited slots and the nature of relics and sacrifices also help keep the magic system in check. There's also a big focus on synergy and builds, which adds a nice level of complexity to the system, or at least the illusion of it. I find it compelling, familiar, yet fresh. What about the characters? Well, William grows and changes over the course of the narrative. He develops an understandable level of paranoia and battles some trauma. He also shifts his motivations when certain situations arise. He is a bit of a clueless, uneducated orphan. He's orphan ish anyway. My point is, his naivety does play a part in his character, his progression, and the progression of the plot. Many of the secondary characters are complex and interesting. You know Will's going to form a party, but you don't know who he'll end up with. Few surprises there. And some great characters overall. Steve, the defective priest, a source of amusement, although he is used as a walking info dump at times. See, I do have some genuine critiques. In The Legend of William O, Steve's sole purpose is to spout exposition poorly disguised as natural conversation. I do have one question. What's actually the deal with Baker Girls? First Merchant Crab, now The Legend of William O. Are Baker Girls in Lit RPG a trope I'm just becoming aware of? Now that I've noticed it, am I going to start seeing Baker Girls everywhere, whether they're there or not? Anyway, who else? What about Loth? Great companion for old William O. I know Will's the resourceful climber, but Loth might be the truly resourceful one. I'd say almost all of the secondary characters are compelling in their own ways. From what I've read so far, Macronomicon is great at assembling a memorable supporting cast. It's not all about the legend himself. As the plot progresses, the story just keeps giving. We see Will slowly morph into the over-exaggerated action hero he's said to be. There are some ridiculous moments, but they fit the tone of the story. It doesn't take itself too seriously. We've also got the overarching mystery of the tower and the whereabouts of Will's parents lurking in the background. And that ending, that's how you end a novel right there. Wrap up the book one story arc and set up the next one. I mean, knowing where it's potentially headed and what Will and the crew are up against makes me want to read more. Yes, I have brought into the legend. No, I will not admit defeat that easily. But before I drop some more unquestionable truth, I want to talk about the audiobook. What a cast! Well delivered, well produced. There are even some sound effects in there, some recognizable guest voices. I feel like audiobooks in general are just getting better, and to think I resisted getting into them for so long. No, ear reading isn't the same as eye reading, but it's better than not reading at all, sometimes. Not all the time, depends on the book. Look, overall, The Legend of William O is the worst novel I've ever read, and I hope the Book 2 audiobook takes a really long time to come out or is never released at all. It is not my new favourite lit RPG series, not even close, and it never will be. If anything, the book should be burnt for being so offensively unreadable, uninteresting, and uninspiring. 2 thumbs down, -5 stars. Yes, the author now owes me stars, and I've set my phone on fire because that's where the audiobook is. Should I cut that last part into a short and put it up completely out of context? No, I've learnt my lesson with that. Thank you very much, passionate He Who Fights with Monsters fans. If you enjoyed this video, hit subscribe. If you didn't enjoy this video, hit subscribe anyway and hate watch my content. That's always fun.